get the feeling that in the latter stages, miles 10 on, we may see people actually surge ahead of Pilkington. I think this is going to be a fascinating day. The field is terrific for both the men and the women. I'm very impressed with the caliber and how prepared guys are. I like Arturo Barrios, and I like another man from Mexico, but we would pronounce it German Silva. It's actually pronounced Silva.
Because the body can't cool itself as it normally would, and then you begin to build up heat.
You might start drinking later on, but it's going to be too late. So that's a very important thing, is to continue drinking. Some of the elite runners will have forced as much fluid into themselves as they can before the race. Some athletes are experimenting with glycerin loading.
1 mile in is halfway across the bridge, and 2 miles in will be in Brooklyn. The first mile, 4:40 in.
And right with him, number 3, Arturo Barrios, who said that he wants to stay up at the front of the pack. Barrios is a tempo runner. He likes to get locked into a pace and keep that pace. He does not like to have people with him in the later stages of a race who can out-kick him, because basically he does not have a great kick. He said his world record is 10 times.
The rest of the leaders.
As I mentioned earlier on in the piece, sometimes the start is too exciting for people and they bolt. They go out too fast, and I think that might be the case. And that's one of the reasons a pace setter is in there, not only to make sure the pace is fast enough, but all he's supposed to be thinking about is what is the pace. He's supposed to take the time to look at his watch. He's supposed to seek out the mile markers on the side of the road and make sure that the pace isn't too fast. So everyone keys off him.
Just about 3 miles in. First mile over the bridge was in 4.
This opens up the strategies of a lot of surging tactics that, Marty, maybe we can chat about a little bit here. But the surging tactics where the athletes try and break the will of the others in the lead pack have not begun yet. They're letting De Silva comfortably pull everybody along.
A race, or who could be someone you could consider a winner in this race, you do not find the name of Luis Carlos da Silva. Now the rest of the men's pack, which includes those like Arturo Barrios and Larry Rawson, it looks as though the lead of Mr. Da Silva is increasing, yet it doesn't look as though this lead pack with the other elite runners in it is trying to do anything about it. Larry Rawson?
And I can't keep up with them. On the other hand, you might just have the confidence to say, no matter how I feel or what's going on there, I'm watching my watch, and we're running a pretty good pace. And now you've got Arturo Barrios, number 3, up there in the lead. He's been relaxing, as I said in the opening piece. Brooklyn is the place to relax both mentally and physically, and Arturo, I'm sure, has been doing that. When they hit the halfway point, that's the time to take stock, look at what the half marathon sprint time is, look at the other runners, see who's still with you. Vincent Rousseau.
61st and first, number of people here are grabbing orders, and as you can hear, the crowd is responding to these runners. They're certainly running at a nice pace right now. As I said, the crowd is not concerned about the rain as it stands at this particular point. Okay, there we go. Now we're waiting for some of the other runners to come down at this point. The excitement still builds.
And in that white convertible that is running with these lead men, that would be the car where Fred Lebo would be with his cap and his warm-up suit. Instead, this year it's with his good friend and 9-time champion Greta Weitz, and I'm sure that people in New York, fans of the marathon, think they're seeing a real, true celebrity, a great little extra bonus as they watch the runners go by and Greta's in that lead car.
Absolutely. Terraces, fire escapes. I believe that once the bulk of the runners come through here, you'll see more people going into the bars. It looks like it's Mexico's day. Of course, his heritage is there. But Silva looks wonderful up front. Vincent Rousseau seems to be marking time as well. Our lead pack right now is down to 15 people, Al and Marty. And all the past champions, by the way, are gone. Willie McCullough has fallen off the back. Steve Jones left the lead pack at about the 8-mile mark. And we are now left with about 16 people up here. And in many ways, the race has not begun yet. No surging. Marty, what do you think about this? I'm surprised that this lead pack's still together up here as we approach 72nd Street.
Well, I think marathoners to just decide to go to Boston as a tourist. They have very strict control over the athletes, and they usually don't let them out of the country to race unless they are sure that they're fit. But the Japanese have a long history of running the American Marathon in Boston, which goes back many years when the Boston winner and the Japanese marathon winners would trade athletes back and forth. Well, Mr. 5 and 10,000 meters, sort of a novice marathoner, although he has run 2:10, but he's a guy that no one knows how well he can run the marathon. Number 15 there, Rico is running well, De Silva and Rousseau, Lawrence, Pugh. I think, as you said, this is probably one of the largest packs we've ever seen on First Avenue.
The runners are making their way now to the 18th mile mark in this marathon. Again, the full marathon, 26.2 miles. Arturo Barrios, now an American, the father of 3-year-old twins. He raises $10,000 a year for underprivileged border youths with Barrios International 10K in Chula Vista, California. 1:25:05 into the marathon, right?
Keep in mind that Isidro Rico, who is number 9, right up off the shoulder of Barrios, and Silva trained together. They've done all the work for this race. I've spoken at length with both their coach, and you'll see number 10 is Silva from Mexico, who I've alluded to. Barrios wearing the black outfit, number 3 up front, and he is kind of spearheading the effort. The Kenyans look very comfortable. William Coex, number 29, is running exceedingly well, has been looking around. Some ways for our viewers at home to kind of key on this is look who's looking at the spectators as opposed to staring at the ground. They're generally the ones who are fresher in this race course. But I'm surprised, Marty, this is going to be a wonderful finish here as we have less than 10 miles to go, and look at this pack.
Well, Arturo Barrios getting stepped on from behind by Castro, turned around and, kind of said, give me a break, and Castro apologized. I noticed from that high shot, Sammy Lele from Kenya just
continues now the New York City Marathon on WPIX TV, New York. And this was a pass for the lead. Moments ago, number 9 in the men's race, Isidro Rico of Mexico, going past Arturo Barrios, who was just a few months ago a Mexican himself. Soon, Herman Silva, also of Mexico, moved into the picture up in the front. It is the two of them. So the Mexicans today are showing themselves to be the 1927 Yankees, the clear powerhouse at the front of the pack.
Former winner, Garcia, a former winner, and Rodolfo Gomez, who just lost to Alberto Salazar. So they go back home, they train, they tell the stories, they talk about this course. So when you know that someone that you've trained with has won something, and you start doing workouts similar to what they're doing, you have the confidence to say that I can do it also. It's always toughest to be the first one from your training group or your country to win something.
Some people think this is the next great Mexican marathoner. Herman Silva, third at the London Marathon earlier this year as they head toward the 19th mile mark, and the pace is quickening. 4:53 was the last mile completed by the lead men.
I think Herman feels great. He's leading, but he doesn't want to be leading. That's why he's looking around, hoping that Isidro Rico or someone else will help him out with the pace. His plan is not to be leading this early in the race. He's done 13:26 for 5,000 meters, which is very fast for this kind of company. He's content to not take the lead until the last 2 miles. He must be feeling great to be out in front because it's not his race plan. I asked him if running against Arturo Barrios is any added incentive since Barrios left the Mexican Federation. He said, no, actually we're happy he did what he did. Silva himself was suspended for 4 years under similar situation of not wanting to give a kickback. He went to court and had it reversed, so he's back in the running. He understands what Arturo did, and he realizes that it